Sophie, unfortunately, we have to interrupt you now because we want to look at the AfD to Gerrit Sebald because he has Alice Weidel in an interview. Yes, exactly. Now with me, here at the federal headquarters of the AfD, Alice Weidel, the AfD's chancellor candidate. Ms. Weidel, nice to have you here. Off to the first projections. The result doubled, but perhaps fell a bit short of expectations. So what prevails? Joy, or a bit of disappointment?
Yes, great joy. Well, we don't measure ourselves against polls, but we measure ourselves against our last result. And we were able to double. After the last federal elections, a doubling of votes within 3 years, that is a magnificent result, the best result the AfD has ever achieved. It now lays a strategic foundation for us. So with 20%, you can do a lot. And I can only tell you one thing. Should the CDU come up with this idea, this reckless idea, to continue exactly this leftist policy with the SPD and the Greens, we will overtake the CDU in the coming years, and we will receive a mandate to govern, and we will put this country back in order. The people, as they showed today at the ballot box, predominantly want a centre-right alliance, and they absolutely want a change in policy to implement the will of the people.
Yes. Well, you have said it now. You also mentioned in your speech that your hand is extended, but how should we envision that? What offers could you actually make to the union?
By implementing the Tosh Unions program. The unions program is almost entirely copied from the AfD anyway. And the union can only implement this program together or with the AfD. Accordingly, Friedrich Merz must decide whether he wants to betray his voters or finally make policy for our country. And that can only be done with the alternative for Germany.
But let's wait and see.
But you would also have to be willing to make compromises, perhaps even personnel compromises. Now you say, just before the election, that Höcke could take on a ministerial position in your government. How is Friedrich Merz supposed to approach you? How do you plan to become capable of governing like this?
Well, okay, that would be the last step before the first. We are open in terms of content, and personnel questions come at a later stage. I can only say that the people in this country, they finally want a political change, and you cannot resist it for years. And as a party, you must not betray your own voters, as perhaps the union is planning to do now, because they won't be able to implement anything they promised with the SPD and the Greens.
Then just a very brief follow-up question on the content, perhaps to also approach the union. Nord Stream, the role towards Russia, the relationship with Russia, and also with the EU. Would you be willing to compromise and move away from your positions, which currently are not an option for the union at all?
I am actually very grateful to you for this question, because I would like to emphasize once again that the Alternative for Germany is the only party with very good relations to the East, to the West, to the USA, to our neighbors, see Hungary, see Austria. We want to have a trusting cooperation with our international partners, and no other party in Germany has that.
Ms. Weidel, thank you for the interview.
Thank you.
Yes, we heard it. Alice Weidel, the chancellor candidate of the AfD, sees the whole thing here as a success. And she continues her tour here now. And let's see if there is really still a celebration going on here, or if there's a bitter pill lingering